Married Life,
जो हमारे women audience है शायद पसंद ना करें.
they do feel offended कि हमें क्यों बोला जा रहा है.
Next is never chase your husband.
थोड़ा संभल कर बोलिएगा, कहीं मेरा चैनल ही बंद करवा दे. Off the recording. Because normally spouses are talking only about families when they sit together.
Women open up very soon in their married life.
पारुल जी, ये तो बहुत ही कंट्रोवर्शियल सी बात हो गई कि शादी कर लो और जल्दी वैसे ना दिखो जैसे हो. बहुत पिटाई होगी मेरी इस शो के बाद, आप देखना.
मैंने तो कुछ बोला नहीं अगेंस्ट भैया.
Men all of a sudden start saying कि मेरे ड्रॉर में अपना सामान मत रखो, मेरी अलमारी में अपनी कंघी मत रखो, don't use my hairbrush, your hair are coming on the hairbrush. Just small things.
So man needs that physical time and space to just be in his own den. सारा टाइम टिक टिक, सारा टाइम साथ में आके बैठ रहे हो, सारा टाइम कुछ ना कुछ बोलते जा रहे हो. तो यार ये मैं तो आपको बिल्कुल सच बता रही हूँ, मैंने तो बड़ी पॉलिश्ड वे में बोला है.
नहीं वो बिल्कुल सही बोला आपने. सारे पति आपके भगत बनने वाले. Hello and welcome to Rashi Foundation. Marriage is not just a union of two souls. It's a commitment to weather the storms together, celebrate the joys hand in hand, and to create a tapestry of love. We have Parull Diwaan. She's the CEO and founder of AhaMarriedlife, a mentor and a marriage coach. पारुल जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है कि आप आए.
नमस्कार. Thank you Rashi ji. Thank you.
Okay, to start with, Parul, tell us about AhaMarriedlife and what exactly inspired you to get in helping women save their marriages, and why specific women? I really want to know that, because in all your profiles we see this, that women saving marriages, helping women save the marriage. So what exactly is this? Over to you.
So two questions, Rashi, you're asking. One is what inspired me to start with this marriage transformation coaching, and second is why women. Okay. So first things first, when I was studying, I was quite interested in child psychology and I wanted to work with children. For some reasons, I could not pursue child psychology. And fast forward, when I was working with one of the major schools, and there I realized my old dream of working with children. So I decided to go ahead with NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Program, wherein I worked with a lot of people, including children. And I remember one case where this 8-year-old girl, when I had gone for a training in school, it's a batch of 40 children, and this girl was absolutely stoic as in, not moving, not blinking, no smile, no talk. And I worked with her for about 15-20 minutes using those NLP things. And she started to come up and smile, talk, everything happened. Later on, the director told me that she had become so stoic in so many years because her parents, her father used to beat up her mother. Okay, and she was quite in a shock and she used to witness the fights every day. My dream was always to see children happy. I mean, that's still my mission. And then, when I worked with her, I realized that what is the point in working on her? Because she's going to go back to the same home. So what if I want to make children happy? So instead of working directly with them, why can't I work at the source level where if I work at the broken homes, broken families, I can fix them, I can help them fix themselves, then children are going to thrive. So that's how that journey started. That is one. Two is why women? When I started my journey, I saw that men were quite hesitant to join in the program. And there are reasons for it. There are biological reasons and there are psychological reasons also. And women also started showing up. So when I started working with women, I realized one more thing, that women have tremendous strength in them. The sad part is they use that strength to tolerate suffering. Okay. So I thought, why not utilize this strength to create something new, which is, rebuilding their relationship and rebuilding this relationship without losing their dignity, without losing themselves, just encashing on that strength that they have. So that's how that journey started. And women, when you work on women alone and they're able to, evoke that goddess within, everything changes, the entire relationship. In fact, 360 degrees change happens.
Now, I think that's the bitter truth. Women do, they do feel offended. कि हमें क्यों बोला जा रहा है? But that's not the truth. Because women are the builders, they are the creators, they are the goddess, and they are the people, they are the human species who can save marriages. This is absolutely wonderful. Okay, Parul ji, what do you think over the years after so much of in-depth knowledge about a great marriage, what do you think are the challenges couples usually face? What is the point of conflict, especially when women come into consideration? Over to you.
Rashi, the challenges are faced by, in a married life, it's both by men and women. Okay. If I say women face more challenges, or if I say men face more challenges, that would be wrong, right? Both of them are facing equal challenges. The only thing is that they have different sets of challenges, right? For instance, though I work with women, but I'll still tell you just one point of, one of the challenges a man faces, right? In Indian setup, especially, it is very difficult for a man to balance because on one hand is the wife and on the other hand is his mother. So striking a balance between the two, keeping both of them happy, keeping both of them satisfied, it's not easy for a man to do that. Okay, so that's one of the challenges he faces and he just doesn't know what to do. Okay. Coming to the women, and why I'm talking more about women is because I work more with them. Yeah, so the challenge that a woman faces is this, that, especially in Indian setup, whether she's staying in a joint family or even if she's not staying in the joint family, one of the challenges she has is that she thinks that she needs to impress her mother-in-law. Why? Because she thinks that if I can make my mother-in-law happy, I'll be able to make my husband happy. So that's the thought she comes with. Okay. So when she comes in, she is trying to impress upon her mother-in-law, and time and again she sees that that is not happening. So that fear, that worry, that tension, all that shows up. Okay, so that's one challenge. Another challenge is that when that tension is showing up, she just looks up to her husband to support her. Okay, husband already is facing a challenge as to how to balance between mother and wife. He is not able to offer that support. So that's another challenge she faces, that she's not able to have husband support. And especially at the time, when she's newly married. Third challenge she faces is a culture shock. She's coming from a certain set of family, certain set of family values. Even if, in Indian system, if the, so you say the, what do you say, culture is the same, caste is the same, religion is the same, even if that is the same, point is the upbringing values, the upbringing culture has been different. So what she faces is a culture shock. The way they might interact amongst each other as a family can be very different from the way she has interacted. Possibilities that she is coming from a joint family and theirs is a nuclear family. So culture shock is the third challenge that she faces, and it takes a lot of time to adjust to the cultural challenges. Okay. So these are the basic level challenges which, just drains out all her energy and time. Primarily, there are many, but I'm telling you the foundational challenges that, impact her settling down in married life.
Yeah, and I agree to a point what you're saying. Upbringing also matters a lot. Okay, now Parulji, tell me, how should these challenges be resolved? People are not receptive. It's very difficult. Okay, so how should these challenges be resolved? Over to you.
Okay, there are many, many ways to resolve this. I will, give you the simplest ones. All right. So number one is that woman comes with a thought that I need to adjust. This is what she has been, conditioned to adjust. See, adjustment to a certain extent is fine. You adjusting the food, maybe you're adjusting the place, the physical space, okay? Adjusting to things like, the way the language, the way they interact with each other. To some extent, that is okay. But adjusting beyond a point where they're losing their dignity, that is where the line needs to be drawn. Okay. So, first of all, they need to understand that adjustment to a certain point needs to be done, not at a point where they start losing their self respect. Okay. And how do you do that? The first thing is that if you really want to retain your respect and, settle down happily, first thing is go slow. Don't be in a rush. Okay. Things will settle down. Understand what is happening around you. Second thing is never ever complain to your husband about his mother, irrespective of however the relationship might be. Understand that she is his mother. Okay. So never complain about his mother to him. Okay. Number two is whenever the fights are happening, argument is happening, never get parents into the picture, which means, pointing fingers at each other's parents. Your mother said this, your father said this. So it happens at both sides, right? So do not get parents into the picture. Third is when the fights are happening, do not take the support of the extended family. So if something is not going right, so sometimes you tend to take the support of, say, maybe husband's brother, husband's sister, a common friend, parents of the boy, parents of the girl. So to resolve your conflicts, do not get those people, because they will only take sides. Girl's parents will take girl sides, his parents will take his sides. Always seek professional help. Next is never chase your husband. Because if you chase them, what happens? You are coming across as a very needy person, and needy is, it doesn't give a good feeling. So do not chase. In fact, you become that person who's able to draw his love, who's able to draw his attention. So it's about who you become that is going to help you resolve those problems.
You just mentioned that become the person who's the desirable one. Now, honestly, people mix it up with ego. So, what points do you have for that particular issue that is, I think, in most of the marriages?
Become the person you become who can draw love. And in respect of ego, and you've raised a very good question. Ego is a term which, by using this term, we have actually made this term larger than life. Okay. In very simple terms, what is ego, Rashi? Ego is your unsatisfied needs of your childhood. So the needs of love, maybe they were not satisfied enough. Maybe, you were not accepted enough. Okay. Maybe you had experiences of rejection. So that unsatisfied needs rises up in the form of should, right? My mother-in-law should do this. My husband should do this. This should not happen. So this should and should not is coming from the unsatisfied needs of a child. And when we say this should happen, my mother-in-law should have done this, my husband should have taken my stand. This is ego, right? And this is how we start to fight then. And you should have done this for me, or you could not take the stand for me, right? So if we can observe our ego, and what is ego? Ego is just unsatisfied needs. So can I observe that if I am complaining or I'm thinking about, okay, my husband didn't give me time. He should have given me time. Where is this coming from? This is coming from some unsatisfied needs of my childhood. What is that unsatisfied need? It could be, I never got attention I wanted. I never got attention I deserve. Okay. Now, without chasing him, what can I do differently so that I can give attention to my own self? So when you do that, and without chasing the other person, you start to evolve. And when you start to evolve, it reflects in your vibrations, and that is what draws the person.
I think you've put it really well, and this is quite clear how you're saying. Okay, Parulji, could you share some practical tips on having a great couple conversation? Because normally spouses are talking only about families when they sit together. So let's hear.
You said that, Rashi. I mean, you said that, one is how can they have a great conversation? And you answered that question where you said, they whenever they are sitting together, they're talking about the families. And yes, I'll go a step further. What happens is that whenever couples are sitting together, most of the time it is seen that they are talking about the families in terms of complaints, criticisms, gossip. Okay. So the one of the ways where you can have a really great conversation is not to complain, as I said earlier. Do not get into any kind of a complaint. Maybe your maid didn't turn up, maybe you had a tough day in office. Office is still okay. Maybe the electrician didn't come up, plumber didn't come. You had, terrible time with extended family members. Point is, when you're sitting with your partner, and it applies both to husband and wife, please do not get into any kind of a complaint or criticism. That's number one. Okay. So what you need to do is get into a conversation wherein, for instance, become curious about how the day went for the other person. Okay. If it is a working day, you means a woman or a husband, both, right? You could ask how the day went, what did you do, or something exciting. If you have a small child and you saw that the child, uttered the first word, talk about that. Child crawled, talk about that. Okay. You had a great conversation with a neighbor, talk about that. Okay. So anything that is non-stressful, anything that is going to help each other reduce their stress. Maybe you could talk about movies. You could talk about, you want to go shopping, or maybe you went shopping, you got something, those kind of conversations which bring your stress down, right? So no complaints, bringing down your uh, you know getting into non-stressful conversation. Okay. Your conversation should not revolve around relationships. You could be conversing about your sister-in-law and her husband. No, that's a stress inducing conversation. So any conversation which does not involve relationship. Yes, you can talk about, okay, my new boss has come and he appears to be this kind of a person. So that's not a personal relationship, right? You can talk about that. However, Rashi, even in that case, you need to be careful. For instance, I'll give an example. Suppose I'm talking about a boss. My boss came, a new guy, and now I am criticizing him. He appears to be this kind of a man. He has ego, he has this, he has that. Now, if I am criticizing my boss, there is a lot that is going inside the listener as to how I treat a man who is not gelling with my thoughts. So he's carrying a lot of information there also. So got to be careful, right? So basically, it's you have a fun conversation. Okay. And then another tip I would say is do not open too soon. Women open up very soon in their married life. They open up their heart and express everything. And it's not to blame them. A woman is ruled by her heart. Okay. So she wishes to express. Expression is her personality, right? So she loves to express. But the point is, when she's expressing as much, she wants her husband also to express as much, which man can't. So either you have patience or you take time to, open up yourself.
पारुल जी, ये तो बहुत ही कंट्रोवर्शियल सी बात हो गई कि शादी कर लो और जल्दी वैसे ना दिखो जैसे हो. Do not open too soon. Now, what advice would you like to give to couples struggling to balance work and family life? Because men have many things to do, women also have many things to do, but they also have family to make. And that is the hard fact of, especially in our country, you know. कहते हैं गृहस्थी स्त्री से चलता है, so but women today's I would say strong woman doesn't want to listen to that. So what advice would you have for such couples where the women are overpowered with a lot of strength and a lot of knowledge? Over to you.
Rashi, men do a lot of work, women do a lot of work. Okay, there is no doubt about it. And there is no doubt about it that गृहस्थी दो पहियों पे चलती है, एक पर नहीं चल सकती. ठीक है, बिकॉज वुमेन अब ज्यादा एजुकेटेड है, ज्यादा नॉलेजेबल है, तो वुमेन के ऊपर थोड़ा काम और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ज्यादा आ जाती है, बिकॉज एक प्रोफेशनल लेवल पर भी आती है और एक हाउस होल्ड लेवल पे भी आती है. तो है तो ज्यादा, इसमें तो कोई डाउट नहीं है. ठीक है, एट द सेम टाइम जब हम बात करते हैं कि वर्किंग कपल्स को बैलेंस कैसे करना है, बेसिक राशि इज दैट, एज वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट अर्लियर आल्सो, at the basic level, both husband and wife need to settle down in the marriage. Settle down means that they are connecting with each other. They are able to talk to each other. They are able to open their heart out. Okay. They have that relationship of trust between them. ये सब चीजें अगर हैं, that is the foundation. Okay. So if that connection is there, communication is there, trust is there, understanding is there, it is at that point in time that you can, husband and wife need to sit down together and talk about the different roles they have. There is no doubt that both men and women today are working equally hard. Okay. Nowadays, women is more educated, more knowledgeable. She also wishes to contribute. She also wishes to, hone her potential and shine her strength. Okay. From that perspective, if we see, then woman has more on her plate than the man. Okay. And all men, pardon me if you're listening to this. This is not to undermine your role, but this is to say that women's, plate is fuller. Okay. Now, that being the case, they need to sit together and talk about who's going to do what in terms of their roles. However, what is important there is, Rashi, that husband and wife have great understanding between them. They have trust levels are very, very high. Okay. They have compassion for each other. They can speak their heart out. They know that there is no fear in the relationship, fear of being judged or fear of being, ridiculed. So once that foundation is there, then it is possible for them to sit and talk about their roles. Okay. There has to be absolute clarity in a case, where even if a woman is managing the household affairs and not going to work, even then there needs to be clarity, because after all, household work is never ending. There also she needs support. Okay. One thing I want to say here is that suppose the roles have been divided. Now, division doesn't mean ये तुम्हारा काम तो तुम ही करोगे, ये मेरा काम तो बस मैं ही करूंगी. ऐसा नहीं है, राइट? अगर आपने अपनी प्राइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि बच्चे को पढ़ाना है, ठीक है, और आपके हस्बैंड की प्राइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उसके करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज का ध्यान रखना है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपके हस्बैंड उसको पढ़ाने में सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते, और इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आप को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते. सपोर्ट कर सकते हो, बट प्राइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो जिसकी है वो चीज ध्यान रखनी है. तो ऐसे है ये बैलेंस करने के लिए.
Whenever we speak to you, Parul, do you always talk about setting and achieving mutual goals for a great marriage? मुझे एक छोटी सी बात का आप जवाब दीजिए. Mostly after being married for 20 odd years, 25 odd years, men all of a sudden start saying कि मेरे ड्रॉर में अपना सामान मत रखो, मेरी अलमारी में अपनी कंघी मत रखो, don't use my hairbrush, your hair are coming on the hairbrush. Just small things which is okay for a woman, तो क्या रिजॉल्व करेंगे इसमें? लेट्स से
देखो राशि, मैं आपको एक बड़ा एक 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 ऐसी चीज बताती हूँ जो हमारी विमेन ऑडियंस है शायद पसंद ना करे, मगर जितना मैंने काम किया है, इतने सारे क्लाइंट्स, 100 से ज्यादा, तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव से बता रही हूँ कि ये ऐसा तब होता है कि हस्बैंड अपनी स्पेस के लिए इतना टाइट क्यों हो जाते हैं कि मेरे बिस्तर में ये क्यों रख दिया, मेरी ड्रॉर में ऐसा क्यों कर दिया, मेरी ड्रॉर को तुमने अरेंज क्यों किया, ऐसा भी लोग बोल देते हैं, वो जैसी थी ठीक थी, तुमने अरेंज भी क्यों किया, ठीक है। ऐसा होता है। ये नॉर्मली उन रिलेशनशिप्स में होता है जहां पर आप देखोगे कि शुरू से बहुत ज्यादा अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं रही है, या कुछ ना कुछ तो ऐसे इश्यूज हैं जो रिजॉल्व नहीं हो पाए हैं, ठीक है। आइडियली तो देखो तो इनके ना एक बहुत डीपर इश्यूज होते हैं जो रिजॉल्व नहीं हो पाए, तो वो इस फॉर्म में रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं, ठीक है। अगर आप डीपर इश्यूज को नहीं सॉल्व कर पाए हो, ठीक है, तब ये प्रॉब्लम आती है। तो पहले बात तो ये कि अगर ऐसी प्रॉब्लम है तो डीपर इश्यूज को रिजॉल्व करना जरूरी है। दूसरा, ये प्रॉब्लम तब आती है जब हर इंसान को, खासकर मेन, ओके, दे नीड देयर ओन टाइम एंड स्पेस. Why do they need their own time and space? Even women need, but women in their time and space do something else, and men have a different connotation. What does a man do in his time and space? He's thinking about either solving a problem, or he's thinking about future, and he's thinking about future of the family and future of his own career. Okay, so man needs that physical time and space to just be in his own den, right? मगर पूरे रिलेशनशिप में अगर वो इन आदमी को वो टाइम नहीं मिला, okay, where he can be himself, then it gets reflected in a physical form. मेरी ड्रॉर मत छुओ, मतलब he is still looking, basically he's trying to convey कि मुझे मेरी स्पेस दे दो, but what he's actually saying is give me my mental space. सारा टाइम टिक टिक, सारा टाइम साथ में आके बैठ रहे हो, सारा टाइम कुछ ना कुछ बोलते जा रहे हो, तो he is basically metaphorically conveying that give me my zone. तो वो है, अगर आप थोड़ा सा अपने हस्बैंड को टाइम और स्पेस की रिस्पेक्ट करते हो, सारा टाइम आगे पीछे नहीं घूमते हो, यू नो, you value what, then he will not be bothered about these things.
What, as per you being a marriage counselor, a coach, you feel that why people need professional help and why should they seek professional help if there is some red flag in a marriage? Over to you.
Rashi, we all say red flags, red flags, red flags, right? Now, can there be any relationship where there is no red flag? That is my question. There cannot be any relationship with only green flags. Red flags will be there. But the point is, how can you convert red flag into a green flag? And that is possible, right? So what are these red flags? If you can see these red flags initially, that's the exact time when you should be seeking professional help. Suppose, you see that when you speak your heart out, when you say something, your husband is not able to, keep it to himself, he shares with others. Okay, that's where you need to understand that, oh, I need to just reflect and see what is happening here. Okay, number two is, if the communication is happening in monologues, yes, no, you got to understand that that's again a time to consult, right? If you see that you are being ridiculed in some way or the other, okay, red flag. If you see that you want to speak your heart, but you don't have the guts to speak it out, you fear something, and it is not necessary that your fear is true. It could just be your fear. It's not all about him all the time, right? It could be your own fear working. If your fear is that, what if I'll be judged? He may not be the person judging you, but that's your fear saying it. Okay. So if you are not able to open up and there is this fear inside you, time to consult. Okay. Suppose your partner, and it applies to both husband and wife, if your partner had an affair with somebody before you got married, right? But that person could not get married to, his boyfriend or girlfriend, and he or she had to marry you. Now, this person is coming with the past. You are not able to accept his past. Okay. Can you blame your partner for this? Something needs to be done at your end, right? So that's the time you should be consulting the professional. The point, Rashi, here, and I'm taking advantage of this forum, is that many people take advantage when the separation has happened, or it's just lingering on your head at the top, like a talwar khadi hai sir pe, divorce or separation ki, then people want to go and seek help. My proposal is that seek help when you see those cracks. Seek help before that cup breaks, right? थोड़ा सा भी क्रैक आया ना, that is the time to seek help. So ये जो मैं आपको इतने सारे बताए हैं, ये है वो मौके जहां पर आपको हेल्प ले लेनी चाहिए. एक पॉइंट ये है कि जब मैं बोलती हूँ कि मैं विमेन के ऊपर, वाइफ्स के ऊपर काम करती हूँ, इसका ये मतलब बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि गलती वाइफ्स की है, ठीक है? और इसका ये मतलब भी नहीं है कि मैं आपके हस्बैंड को फेवर कर रही हूँ, वो नहीं है, ठीक है? मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि विमेन, वाइव्स के अंदर इतनी स्ट्रेंथ है कि आप उस स्ट्रेंथ को अगर थोड़ा सा राइट डायरेक्शन में यूज करेंगे ना, तो आप अपनी मैरिज को क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? और स्ट्रेंथ को राइट डायरेक्शन में यूज करने का जो दूसरा पॉइंट मैं बोलना चाह रही हूँ, लोग बोलते हैं ना एडजस्ट करते जाओ करते जाओ. नहीं नहीं नहीं, हमारे प्रोग्राम में एडजस्टमेंट नहीं है, आपको एडजस्ट नहीं करना है. लेकिन जो हम ये फोकस करते हैं कि आपको अपनी रिस्पेक्ट लूज नहीं करनी है. आप women forget themselves, they lose themselves, वो नहीं करना है, राइट? सो बिना रिस्पेक्ट लूज करे, बिना हस्बैंड को चेस करे, बिना मदर इन लॉ को प्लीज करे, बिना यस मैन बने, आप कैसे रिलेशनशिप को चेंज कर सकते हो? कर सकते हो, ये मैं बोल रही हूँ, बिना इन सब चीजों के.
We can just continue speaking about having a great marriage and how to resolve so many issues at a marriage. But today I want to ask something more, just not about the marriage consultancy and the coaching. Parulji, tell us, what are your future plans? Because I believe you're doing a lot of workshops and you do have a lot of people, taking consultation from you. So tell me about your future plans and also tell me about your achievements. Over to you.
Yeah, Rashi, relationship is one topic where we can actually go endlessly, right? So my plans is of expansion are that I want to reach out to more people. I want to reach out to more people in my country, for which I have already started traveling. So I am intending to, as I travel to different states, I intend interacting with more couples, more women, and see, how I can help them there. That is one. So that is my travel across states is one thing. Second is with you also, I started that podcast because I thought, through podcast, it'll be easier to reach the wider audience, right? Third is that I have started my YouTube channel and I have done 100 days to happy marriage, right? 100 days. So I have done 100 live sessions, one session, one small thing to do every day for next 100 days, and you see how shift happens. Then I have also written a book called From Mates to Soulmates, which is available in Amazon, wherein the intention is to reach the larger audience. So I am trying to see how best I can reach the larger audience, so that I want to reach masses actually and educate them, educate women on how they can utilize their strength to turn the relationship around and also evolve as a human being, evolve as a woman, shine their own light. So these are the things that I have been doing and I intend doing. I have also started doing online workshops. Either they are free or they are at a very minimal pricing of 199 rupees. So earlier I used to do it about once in a month. Now I am doing it 3 to 4 times in a month. That is again to reach out to the larger audience. And those are the workshops where it's not theory. They are doing certain work, and it is very amazing to see how when people do that work in 3 days time, they experience the shift. Shift doesn't mean 360 degrees turn around, but they start to experience that small shift that is so significant. So, creating those workshops where uh, the deliverables they can experience. And I'm coming up with more modules like why does love and sex get lost after marriage? Why, how to heal yourself in relationship. So those are in the offing as of now. And that should come up in my new website as well. So that's the future for us. एक पॉइंट ये है कि जब मैं बोलती हूँ कि मैं विमेन के ऊपर, वाइफ्स के ऊपर काम करती हूँ, इसका ये मतलब बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि गलती वाइफ्स की है, ठीक है? और इसका ये मतलब भी नहीं है कि मैं आपके हस्बैंड को फेवर कर रही हूँ, वो नहीं है, ठीक है? मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि विमेन, वाइव्स के अंदर इतनी स्ट्रेंथ है कि आप उस स्ट्रेंथ को अगर थोड़ा सा राइट डायरेक्शन में यूज करेंगे ना, तो आप अपनी मैरिज को क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? और स्ट्रेंथ को राइट डायरेक्शन में यूज करने का जो दूसरा पॉइंट मैं बोलना चाह रही हूँ, लोग बोलते हैं ना एडजस्ट करते जाओ करते जाओ, नहीं नहीं नहीं, हमारे प्रोग्राम में एडजस्टमेंट नहीं है, आपको एडजस्ट नहीं करना है। लेकिन जो हम ये फोकस करते हैं कि आपको अपनी रिस्पेक्ट लूज नहीं करनी है। आप विमेन फॉरगेट देमसेल्व्स, दे लूज देमसेल्व्स, वो नहीं करना है, राइट? सो बिना रिस्पेक्ट लूज करे, बिना हस्बैंड को चेस करे, बिना मदर इन लॉ को प्लीज करे, बिना यस मैन बने, आप कैसे रिलेशनशिप को चेंज कर सकते हो? कर सकते हो, ये मैं बोल रही हूँ, बिना इन सब चीजों के।
Absolutely beautiful session with Parull Diwaan. She is a marriage coach. And I think she has some real valid points in her podcast. The union of two souls is not very difficult. So get in touch with her. I think she will help you out with regaining and refinding and regenerating the love in your marriage. पारुल जी आपका बहुत बहुत थैंक्स है क्या बाय
Thank you, Rashi ji, for giving me this foundation, giving me this forum.